Hello and welcome back to our Let's Play series for Distant Worlds Universe. We're up to episode 5 now, and if I just get game running for a little bit, we are absolutely rolling in money, which is great. Up to year 2111, so I've been playing for about 11 years at the moment. At the end of last episode, or last time around actually, we sort of built up our little home fleet at a little bit, with a whole bunch of escorts. So we've got 20 ships sitting there at the moment. Next up, I think we had some research here to finish or to get going. So we had picked up colonization last time and settled our first colony over here, which is great. So that was just done, and where are we now? So long range scanners have been picked up, which is good. So what we'll do, we'll fit those out on some of our starpots, and to get sort of those going, so we can see what's happening around our home system, and then when we expand out a little bit further as well, that'd be good because we can preempt any attacks or anything like that coming in. So what we're actually going to do now, we're going to grab crew systems here, which is going to give us a little bit of a improvement to our life support and habitation modules. And after that, we're going to grab storage systems. The main thing we want there is the standard fuel cell. So that's just basically going to give us a fuel cell that is a little bit larger, and that will allow us, our ships and stuff, to travel a little bit further out from our home system. And that will be especially important for our exploration ships. Make sure they get out in the galaxy and see what's happening out there. And after that, we're actually going to queue up a coordinated control, and which will give us improvement through our command center, and then we're going to go down and sort of make a beeline through to Open Trade Network. So the reason we want to go there, and it's a good strategy a lot of you can follow if you're sort of just starting out in your games, is we want to actually get to the stage of being able to build the Trader's Bazaar Wonder. And that's going to cost us 50,000 credits, but what it will give us, especially if we build that on our home system or our starting planet, to be more accurate, is our colony development will go up by 20%, we'll get plus 30% colony income, and that will cost us 10,000 credits in annual maintenance. So if we're talking about plus 30% in colony income, that is going to well and truly pay for itself. I would have thought you'd be talking in excess of plus 50 to 100,000 extra credits as well, especially because our home planet is so developed, and always will be. So that's something really good to grab on, or to grab early on. Not that we're short of money, but once we start building up our fleets, a lot of this money will go quite quickly. So let's keep running the game for the moment, and our exploration ships are out and about in the system. If you're not sure what systems or stars your ships had visited, one good thing to look at is, and hyperdrive technology is finished, so that's really good. We'll upgrade all our ships soon. And one good thing to see is if a star or a system actually has a name next to it, so like here with a system name, it has been explored. And if it doesn't, like all these ones down here, they haven't been explored yet. But if you're not sure a little bit further, you can actually hit the G key, which will bring up the galaxy map. And you can go down here to view and just go down to explored systems. So you have a look here and see actually what you've explored. So you can see we've explored a tiny little portion of the galaxy. So I generally don't use the galaxy map a whole lot, sometimes for potential colonies, but it's probably easier to just go through to the expansion planner. Sometimes to see independent populations if you're going to target those in particular, but explored systems can actually be quite useful to see sort of where you've gone and where you need to go. So what we're going to do now, so the hyperdrive technology upgrade actually provided a new component, so we're going to have to upgrade all our ships manually. And the next couple of upgrades in the hyperdrive technology will actually just sort of upgrade automatically, so you won't have to. So it's actually given us the Garax hyperdrive. So if we have a look at the next technology, it says improvements to the Garax hyperdrive. So that will upgrade automatically next time around. But for now, we'll sort of just have to do that ourselves. So what we're going to grab now actually will be, I think we're going to go for enhanced shields, and then we're going to come down here and actually get some of these technologies, especially the accelerated construction, get the Wonder there, the high-speed shipyards, which will, if we put that on our home planet, that will give us plus 200% construction speed. So that will be really, really good, especially when we're getting out a lot of star bases and colony ships and things like that, so that would be really useful there. So for now, we're just going to queue up enhanced shields. And first thing we're actually going to do, we're going here and do a whole bunch of retrofitting. It shouldn't take too long though. Get through as quickly as possible. We're going to go hit auto upgrade. And we're just going to go in and check. So that should have upgraded our hyperdrive here, which is good. And just going to double check our power to make sure that that's still adequate. It only uses 78 power or 78 energy there, so we've still got a lot left over, so that's really good. So we don't have to worry about that for now. So we're just going to hit save, and we're going to do that with actually all of our ships as well. Just hit auto upgrade, just run in and double check. And we've got way too much energy there, so we don't need that on our exploration ship. Let's actually probably drop it again. Yep, that's definitely going to be enough, so that's good. And same on our colony ship. And so actually got the problem again, min 50% colonization module. So it's because we've gone over size 604, as we said in the last episode. So what I might actually do is just actually drop some armor. So drop 4 units of armor, and that will take us down to what we need to be. So that's good. Same with the construction. And we've actually got the same problem here as well. So construction ships, minimum 35% cargo storage, construction, and manufacturers. So what we can actually do here, rather than taking some things off, although we actually don't need that much power, so we're going to take one of those off and one of those off again. So that's fixed the problem. So that's good. So we can do that. And private ships, auto upgrade, double check. Same thing. The reason we've got so much excess energy, by the way, in case you're wondering, is because we actually had upgraded reactors, and they gave us a whole lot of extra energy that we basically don't need as many reactors anymore. So we're going to upgrade all of these really quickly, and that will be good. And 2 off there. Yep, that's all good. And here as well. And the last one, and that's done. So the next thing we're going to do is actually go down to our state bases and upgrade our defensive base. We can hit auto upgrade to upgrade any components on there that may have been sort of manually done, which is like in case so there's a whole lot of blasters on here, which is good, saves a little bit of time. We're going to chuck on an enormous amount of armor and also shields. I think we might even go up to save 5,000 shields. Which is a little bit of an overkill, but it's actually probably not, especially you get later on in the game, a little while, you get some more powerful ships. They'll definitely need those. We're going to put on some concussion missiles, 15, and some rail guns as well. It's really good to get fighter bays on some standard or some stationary starports or bases. But for now, I think we're just going to leave it there. Put on an energy collector and some habitation module. Of those, and 5, 6, and put on a long range scanner. So this is what we just researched before. So you can see down here it's got a range of 45,000. It uses a lot of static energy, so we're actually going to need to put on another energy collector, or another 3 energy collectors, and just to sort of support that. It is quite expensive, long range scanner, but I really think it is worth it. So you can just sort of predict, or have a bit of forewarning about things that are happening. So definitely something to look out for in your own games. And apart from that, I don't believe we need anything else. Nope, that would be good for now. And no, just looking at it, currently can't build a design of this size. So what we're actually going to do, but we don't need this much firepower. I think our maximum size is 1200 from memory. So what we might do is take off some shields, 4500. Don't really want to take off any extra. We don't actually need that much weaponry at the moment, so I might actually take it down to there. So still 280 firepower, which is definitely going to be enough, and definitely going to buy us, given the shields and the armor, it will definitely buy us enough time that we'll be able to get a fleet over there, and sort of help out if needed. So I might actually just put on a few more shields. Oops. 1,000 shields and maybe even another 200 armor onto here. We don't need to put on long range scans or anything, so just put on another life support hub module. Our spaceport's fine for now, our resort base is fine. Just go and check private bases. that's, I actually might go put a little bit more shields, so 4,000 shields, put on some more blasters and some, probably 10 missiles and just 5 railguns. So that's 185 firepower, so that is probably a little bit of overkill for a mining base, but I think it's probably worth it. Like I mentioned before, we actually don't pay for mining bases, so it's sort of the cost that's worn by the private sector. And they have a lot of cash on hand, so we don't have to worry too much about them at the moment. So let's put another 5, another 5, and another 5. And life support, a couple of life support, and a couple of habitation modules. And energy collection is good, and firepower, energy actually. Another reactor, so that's 320, so that'll be enough. And I just have to check this one as well now. So 205, yep, definitely need another reactor. Just 265, so that's, yeah, it's cutting a bit fine, but that should be enough. Life support, habitation, yep, 263. So now we're just going to go here and quickly. And what are we doing? We're going to upgrade our exploration ships. Select all of those retrofits. And our mining stations. So sort by mining station. So when you're retrofitting, you can only upgrade if everything sort of that you've selected is the same sort of role and also the same like version. So if you've got different versions of stations and things like that, you won't be able to do it at the same time. But for now, it's all good. And our research station and our construction yard. So we collect our construction ships. You might actually just sort of retrofit even if they're doing things at the moment. I think it's worth it. And the last thing we're going to do, which I forgot to do before, is our escort. Oh no, we did that before, good. So we can go into our fleet and just retrofit our entire fleet. So that should be all good for now. And the private sector, in case you were wondering, updates or retrofits their ships by itself. And so you won't have to worry about that. So they'll sort of decide when they want to do that, and they'll just come to your starport, and they will retrofit, and we'll get some bonus income there as well. So that's really good. So we're looking for bonus income. We've got 6k from our spaceport and 10k from our resort income, and we are still rolling in money. So I'm actually going to queue up some more exploration ships. Just because, ignore the cat, exploration ship, just probably another 4. Was that 4? Yes, it was 4. Good, I can count. And just because we have a lot of money, and now that we've retrofitted our exploration ships, they will have a far greater range. So I think this one, yep, 6250. So now we can say basically they can, because we've upgraded both their speed, so they can travel further on less fuel, and also upgraded their fuel, their standard fuel cells. They have a far greater range, so they can get out and really explore a lot of the galaxy. So that's why I'm going to queue up some more, make sure we've just got, we've got plenty there. So 12 should be definitely enough for now, and they should be able to explore a lot of these systems, which is really good. So. One final tip while we're sort of just looking at this system: if you get a numbered system like this, there's actually nothing in the system. So you sort of don't really, there's no planets in the system is basically what it means. So anything with sort of like a system name like this actually has planets and things, but a numbered system is basically, there's not a whole lot in it. So you may get some sort of asteroid fields and see here like some gas fields, but apart from that, they're generally not a whole lot of stuff happening there. So our crew systems have upgraded. They see before we got a intelligence agent upgraded, so they're still working, which is good. Scientist ship captains. We've got another ship captain here, so it's going to transport them to just one of our random our escorts, get a little bit of experience, and the vicious invaders have cancelled our protection arrangement. So basically what this means, so we've actually got this fleet here, or this ship here. The cruiser. So that, wow, 874 firepower. I don't know where these people are getting their firepower so early on in the game. I actually, honestly, haven't seen that firepower that high before. So we have a couple of choices. We have a 1200 fleet, so they could probably actually come over here and take on this ship, although I'm not sure that they're finished. No, they haven't. So What I might do, I might take the coward's way out. Instead of allowing them to raid us, I'm going to actually request a protection arrangement. Even though it's 3,000 credits a month, we have a lot of money. So it's probably a little bit better. Rather than allowing them to raid our colony, we're going to do that. So that is good. Although they're sort of really annoying me now. So we're actually going to go and later on in the game, we'll make a note of them and we'll make sure that we can sort of wipe them out as soon as we can. You may have noticed this little icon up here. This is actually a pirate base. So this is for the Vicious Rock Ravagers. We don't have a protection arrangement with them at the moment, and they only have 2 ships, so they're not a threat at all. So once we get actually a fleet that we sort of are happy to send outside our home fleet, or our home system, we're actually going to go out here and take them out, just to stop them sort of getting to a point where they can sort of expand or get any stronger. So we'll do that quite soon. And another thing we're going to do now that we've upgraded our defensive bases, we're going to put one in on our new ship, on our new planet. So you can just sort of go down here into construction and queue up a defensive base. And given that it's a new planet, you come up with this warning here: construction stalled due to resource shortages. And it's because it's a new planet and it doesn't have a lot of demand for a lot of these things. So your own freighters and also independent freighters should come and deliver the goods to this system. So if they're sort of in demand like this, they'll make it a priority and deliver these goods. Another thing you can do is actually assign a mercenary smuggling mission. Basically means that pirates, you can put a sort of a contract out to the pirate or empires or pirate groups, and they can get a lot of extra money by delivering resources to your planet. So we're not going to do it for this one because it's in our home system, and we sort of have a lot of our own freighters around at the moment, and it's not probably necessary really because we're so close in. But if you get later on in the game, you sort of get a long way out from your home base and a lot of your home infrastructure or your empire infrastructure, it can be quite useful to actually assign a pirate smuggling mission and get sort of defensive bases up quite quickly. So because new planets are quite vulnerable to attack, and especially to pirate raiding. So all pirates have to do is basically come over here and just sort of park their ships over your system, and they can raid it, and so they can actually steal credits from you and research, and also that it'll give it sort of a negative bonus, so they won't be as happy and it'll slow down development. So it's a good thing to do to sort of protect your planet. So what we're going to do is just queue up a couple of infantry here, and then once they're there we can just go into the troop screen and garrison them and sort of just make sure that they can't get invaded, so or raided at all. So we're doing quite well at the moment. We've got also getting some warnings that construction or actually retrofitting our gas mining station is stalled, but that's okay. The private sector will take care of that themselves. So I've completed improved missiles, so it provides improvements, so we don't actually have to worry about that. So if we should now have a look at our medium spaceport, we've actually got firepower of 200, which was more than what we had before, because that has sort of updated automatically, so we won't have to worry about that. So our fleet, or our home fleet, is still retrofitting. That's okay. Go into weapons. What I think we're actually going to do now is go to queue up a couple of fighters. So once we get into energy and construction and queue up a few more, like go up a few sizes, we'll actually be able to build carriers. And carriers are really, really good for fighters, and you actually get a bonus for if a certain percentage of your carrier or the size of your carrier is just solely fighters. You actually sort of get a bonus. You actually make the ship a lot bigger than what you normally could do. So we're going to sort of get that done in preparation, and fighters can be really useful. So they're offering us protection, and those are the ones, the Vicious Rock Ravagers. Because we know they've got no ships basically, we're not going to do this, and they're not actually asking us for that much because they're not that strong, so we still don't need it for now. So we're actually going to make sure our home fleet is actually on our planet, which means they'll sort of follow our planet around, so that's sort of where we want them. So it's okay. Getting a whole bunch of construction stalled, but that's okay, we won't worry about that. We have our fleet, or the people that we just paid off here, so they're obviously coming to attack us. So now that we've paid them off, they're not going to, which is good. So they'll sort of go off and do their own thing. Got a message here from our agent has evaded detection after successfully stealing a territory map. Excuse me. So if we go into our intelligence agent, and this one here, we just cancel this mission and put him on back on counterintelligence until cancelled. Now that he's been on mission, you actually see all these stats here. He's got counterintelligence of +20, which is really, really good. So we actually leave him on counterintelligence, probably permanently now, and he'll give us a bonus to counterintelligence. So make sure, hopefully, that no one is able to do anything nasty to us. So if we come out here and have a look, where is that other empire? They're all the way up here. So they're not going to be a threat to us for a while. Let's just come in here and have a look. I haven't got a whole lot of population. Military strength is not a lot, and economy, so they're pretty much on par with the other empire that we'd already discovered, so they're not going to be too much of a threat, so that's okay. It's good, we're looking pretty good for the moment. And sort of let things just run along for the moment. Our construction ships are doing their own thing. And our planet is under attack from a pirate cruiser, and that's the ones that we actually just rejected before. So it's actually funny that the vicious invaders that we paid off are actually attacking that ship because we pay them for protection. So what we're going to do now that that's happened, we're actually going to, because we know that they've got basically nothing, we're going to get our home fleet. So our home system is pretty safe. So on our home planet we've got our starport, and we've actually got our defensive base being built on there. So we should be safe from attack for a little while. So what you're going to do over here is actually move over to secluded end. So that's sort of a little, I guess a little trick or sort of a preference here is when you send a fleet, I actually prefer to go move to a certain location rather than going attack. Because if you go attack, what they're going to do when they get there is they're going to attack just the starport, and they're going to ignore any ships around it. So we don't really want that. We want to basically attack anything that's around there. So if you do a move to, once they get there, they'll automatically attack sort of everything, and they'll choose the targets based on what they think is best. So that's sort of just a preference of mine. We've completed enhanced shields, so it's improvement to existing technology, so you won't have to upgrade anything, which is great. And as like I said before, we're actually going to come down here and make a beeline to some of these. So you're going to go into component prefabrication, which will give us a greater ship size, which will be good, take us up to 500. Next up we're going to go to accelerated construction to get the wonder, and then enhanced energy collection. So just make our energy collectors a little bit more efficient. So all our construction ships, as well, if you should start out the game, I probably should mention this a long time ago. All these arrows showing you where they're all going, that's probably not a default thing. So if you come down here, it's got show travel vectors for state ships. So I've actually got that turned on. So you turn it off. I found that it can be hard to sort of know where all your ships are going. So especially your fleets, once you get a lot of fleets going, it's a really good thing to have this turned on. You can actually see where all your fleets are going. So you can see here, like it's quite easy to see your fleets up with the number. And the name as well, once you name them, and it's just good to see, keep track of, because I mean later on, the further through the game you get, you'll be playing more of the game out through here, so you're actually going into your systems very often, you'll be playing it sort of most out of this level, so the big overview, so it's good to keep track of where everything's going. So if you just zoom into here, and all our ships have come in, and they're going to basically take out this base because it's got 200 firepower and it's, yeah, it's not really a threat at all, so I'll take out that quite easily. And now that we've destroyed this base, we get lost ship location revealed. After destroying the pirate base secluded end, we have found a data core floating in the debris. In the data core is information about an abandoned capital ship named Ultimate Backstab. The information is damaged but appears to indicate the capital ship is adrift somewhere in the locations they've given. We should immediately send a ship to this system to claim the capital ship for our empire. So I might have a look at that. I think it's going to be a little bit away. It's not too far away actually, so I might send one of our exploration ships out here. Move to this system and then automate them, and just keep an eye on them, and once they get there, we'll go in and actually move our exploration ship close to them and claim that capital ship. So we can either use it in our fleet if it's good, or we can send it back and get it retrofitted. So we're just going to send our home fleet back to our planet, which was the Elliptical 2, and see all of these. So we actually go pop up here. Temple of Ephemera. We've discovered the temple and ancient ruins from a lost civilization at the desert planet. From our orbital inspection, we detect that ruins are nearly consumed by a vast sandbox. Should we investigate? Yes. And we found nothing, so that's okay. So there's little circles as well. These are all private sector freight ships, basically. So you can see we've got quite a few now. If we come into our Empire summary, come down to ships and bases, we see they've got 28 small, 22 medium, 14 large freighters, and quite a few mining stations and passenger ships and all that kind of stuff. So they've been all built for ourselves, so 93 ships in total, which is good. And so they're sort of doing their thing. I suspect they've all come out here. If you see them sort of come out of a system and just sit there, it's because they're actually sort of running away from a pirate. So it's probably because that pirate was in our system before, and now they're all sort of coming back in. So they sort of do that on their own. They sort of, you know, self-preservation. So that's a good thing to know. So our leaders increased their population growth to plus 50, which is great. So if you click on come in here and just click on the system, so you actually click on the system and then come down to our new planet. And so we've got a population growth rate of plus 6. So I suspect that's because happiness isn't that great. Yep. Yeah, it's not too bad though. It's probably just a little bit slow at the moment, so it's okay. So our colony ship has been completed, so that will go and expand or colonize our next planet in our system. Retrofitting for our research base is finished. Our home fleet has come back, and they're a little bit low on fuel. So these, if you click on the fleet and these little green bars on the right hand side, they're actually fuel icons. So we're just going to click refuel, and they'll automatically refuel. And Alarun 1 has been colonized, which is good. So we've got 3 colonized ships now, which is great. I've got that little negative at the start, but that'll go away quite quickly, or negative happiness, sorry. That'll grow quite quickly as well. I should point out as well, there actually are growth bonuses for planets that have a really low population. So they'll sort of grow faster. So your homeworld automatically sort of grows really fast, or a lot faster than your colonies. So that's probably why, another reason why we have like a lower growth rate. But they will actually grow faster. So low population planets will grow faster, and then the bigger they get, the slower they'll grow. Which makes sense. So what you're going to do is click on this planet and go to construction yard. And we're going to queue up another defensive base. So they're quite expensive, like 15,000 credits, but like I said, we've got a huge amount of credits, so we don't have to worry about that. So we're just going to let that queue those up. Our exploration ship has come over here, and we've discovered an independent colony of Gizureans. So if we at all can, we're going to want to come out and colonize them, because they're our race and they'll accept us really quickly. And they're actually here where this system which we went to, so that was actually pretty lucky. So I suspect there's actually no abandoned ship in here. So the pirates have one way or another already discovered this ship and taking it over. So there's no abandoned ship that I can see. Nope. So this is a colony of Gizureans, and they've got 506 million population. But you can see the problem that we've got here at the moment is no too far from existing colonies. So we're going to want to, if at all possible, sort of try and get some colonies closer, maybe over in this area, and then we should be able to colonize this planet. But we're going to keep a close eye on that and make sure that no one sort of takes them over. So we've got our exploration ship, they're on auto, so they'll sort of just move around and do their own thing, so that's okay. Tree discovery, no thank you. And going to go into the expansion planet now. And we've haven't got any other colonies or colonizable planets at the moment apart from that one. So that's a little bit of a worry. So we've explored a decent amount of this area. So there's sort of no colonies or colonizable planets within our direct area. And just sort of remember that we can only really, well, our favorite planet is volcanic. And I believe that there's another type that we can colonize. So we click on a planet and click on our race. We will have a look here, and native planet type is volcanic. So it's got a little spiel here. It says, Gizureans typically build their cavernous underground homes in rocky areas of sandy desert planets, but can sometimes be found on volcanic planets. So we can actually colonize desert planets as well. And I believe desert planets, I'm just talking out of thin air there. Yep, desert colonization. So we should be able to colonize desert planets as well, and volcanic, but the rest of them we probably aren't able to. So we can research some of those later on. So like I know we've got a continental planet here, which is a decent size and not a bad quality. So we might actually want to research continental planet colonization, but I think we actually get a penalty. Sort of double checking, I did remember all this, but so we come down here and you actually see colonies. So you get a bunch of information here about colonies. So basically, if we colonize marshy planets, our research costs 200% of normal. So if probably don't want to colonize marshy planets if we can avoid them. Ocean planets are worse, plus 300%. Desert planets, negative 50% research, so that makes it a lot cheaper, which is good. Ice planets are plus 100% of normal costs. Volcanic, negative 75% of normal costs, so that's good. So marshy swamp have negative 33% construction speeds, we don't want to do that. So basically what I'm getting from here is we want to steer clear of marshy and ocean and ice planets, and that means we can colonize volcanic, desert and continental planets. We're probably going to be our preferences. Let's come in here, go up to colonization, so marshy is out, ocean, no, ice, no, so that leaves us volcanic, desert and continental. So these three are probably going to be our planets they're going to go for. So we might actually go for continental next, because I know we've got another one just to allow us to get another colony. So, research coordinated control, which is good, providing improvements to the command center. Also research light interceptors, which is good. So it's on to bombers now. So we're down here, we're going to go down into enhanced commerce, and then go across to open trade network. So we'll queue that up. That's because we want the wonder there. So they offer protection. Vicious rock ravagers, they're the ones we just destroyed our base, or destroyed their base. So if you have a look in here, they've only got 2 ships again, and we don't know where they are yet, so we won't worry about them. Offer a colony location, we've got heaps of money, so we will do that. C4, so C4 over here. 2 actually, so 2 independent planets. So the Ugnari, or the Ugnari, however you want to pronounce that. They are, doesn't really say. Nature, they are friendly though cautious, so they should be okay to colonize if we can get close enough to them. Currently they're too far from our existing colonies, but they'll probably be good. Even though they're ice planets, won't be as much of a penalty because they've already got these independent races on here. So they're obviously native to this sort of planet, so that would be okay. So we'll probably keep an eye on that and sort of colonize them as well if we can. But it looks like we're going to sort of have to colonize or take over some planets a little bit further out, which is not the worst thing. So our fleet admiral has gained another trait. So checking our fleet admiral, ship energy savings plus 15%, which is pretty good. Countermeasures plus 8, and hyperjump speed negative, which is a little bit of a drawback, but it's not too bad. It is from a trait, so we won't be able to change that at all. That's not the worst thing in the world though, so it's not too bad. So you might be sort of wondering why all these these systems are red, so now our empire colors. So it's because they're actually in our sphere of influence. So you come over here and it's got show empire influence. So you put that on and you see this little red circle, so it's emanating from our home planet, and it'll also, if you colonize new planets, it'll give a new sort of sphere of influence, but it won't be as big as this one. So it's emanating from our planets. Any systems within this, within our influence, will be sort of within our empire, or just considered part of our empire. So if we click on a system here, it says owner the hive, so it's within our empire. Basically means that other empires won't be able to colonize planets within our empire or within our influence, which is really good. So, and we're not able to do the same for them as well. So you can sort of get into some influence battles later on if you colonize quite close to them. You can sort of be fighting for influence and things like that. So this will be the last thing we do before we finish the episode. We've discovered the sanctuary of God knows what that name is. Ancient ruins for lost civilizations, surveying the orbit, blah blah blah. Should we investigate? Yes. And it's released a swarm of culters. So if we go there, if our exploration ship doesn't get out of there quickly, it might take some damage. Hopefully they will. Nope, taking some damage, and they're going to be destroyed. Which is a bummer, but that's okay. Exploration ships are nice and cheap, so we can build lots of them. And you'll find that we will lose quite a few exploration ships as well. So these ones in red have actually had some damage to them. So they'll sort of repair on their own. So you see it's already going back to repair at the spaceport. So we're nearly up to 35 minutes. So I'm going to put a cut in here, guys. And I'll see you guys soon.